She's paying attention, but not the way you'd expect. No messages, no apologies, just silence. She scrolls through your posts, watches your stories, hears your voice in old memories, but never reaches out. You might think that means she's moved on, but this isn't peace, it's a power play. Men often assume women will express interest directly, but that's rarely how it works. When a man misses someone, he speaks up. When a woman does, she stays quiet because silence gives her control. She'd rather bite her tongue than admit she was wrong. She'll sit in the background, quietly hoping you'll blink first. She's not gone. She's waiting for you to crack. For a like, a message, a sign you're still orbiting her. And the moment you do, she wins. But when you pull back for real, when you go ghost not out of strategy, but out of strength, that's when it all flips. Now she's unsure. Now she's checking. Because the one thing she counted on was your attention, and now that's gone. If you've ever felt the sting of being ignored by someone who once cared deeply, understand this. The most powerful move isn't what you say, it's what you don't say. If you feel this in your gut, drop a comment below. I master my silence. Before we get into the video, I've got something important to share. My complete dating course is now available. If you've been gaining value from my YouTube content, you're only seeing the tip of the iceberg. This course dives much deeper, giving you a step-by-step guide to approaching, attracting, and connecting with women the right way. We've just unlocked Section 5, and the insights there aren't anywhere on this channel. It's quick to join, secure to access, and built to upgrade your dating life. Go to thestoiccouple.podia.com or click the link below to enroll now. Number 1, she's addicted to watching. She can't stop watching you, not because she's over you, but because watching gives her power. She scrolls through your photos. She replays your stories in the dark. She listens for any digital echo of your life, but she will never make the first move. Why? Because the game is control, not connection. A man misses someone, he reaches out. A woman, she observes. She waits. She tests without a single word. She's not watching because she wants to fix things. She's watching because she wants to know that she still exists in your head, that you're still haunted by her absence, that she still holds emotional leverage. This is not love, it's psychology. The moment she texts you, she risks rejection. The moment she calls you, she exposes her own longing. And in her world, that means giving you the upper hand. So instead, she stays silent. She lets time grind you down. She hopes your curiosity eats you alive. She believes eventually you'll crack. You'll like her post. You'll reply to a story. You'll fall into her trap. That's how she wins. Most men don't even see the trap. They confuse visibility with interest. She's still watching, maybe she still cares. Wrong. If she truly feared losing you, you wouldn't be guessing. You'd know. She'd show up. She'd speak up. She'd do something real. But she's not doing that. She's sitting behind the scenes, gathering intel on your life like it's a mission, checking if you've moved on, watching if you look happy, scanning for signs of a new woman. And if she sees something she doesn't like, she won't message you. No. She'll post a carefully crafted photo. She'll stage a moment with another man. She'll upload a caption that drips with hidden meaning, all to trigger you, all to pull you back in without saying a single word. Because if you react, she wins again. She knows that the man who still watches her stories, the man who still checks her feed, is the man she still owns. But the moment you stop, the moment your attention disappears, everything shifts. Now she's the one wondering. Now she starts checking more obsessively. Now she questions her own decision. And this is where the power flips. Your absence creates a void, one she didn't expect, one she can't control. Your silence becomes a mirror, forcing her to sit with what she lost. That's when panic sets in. Because suddenly, she doesn't know if you've moved on. She doesn't know if you're thinking about her. She doesn't know if she still matters. And uncertainty, for a woman who's used to being chased, is pure torment. Understand this. If a woman only watches, she's not choosing you. She's keeping you close as a backup, as an option, not a priority. And that's not love, that's leverage. The only way to escape this loop is to stop watching back, cut off the feedback, end the guessing game. Because the moment you remove your attention, you remove her power. And when a woman loses power over your emotions, that's when the real shift begins. Number 2, she fears losing control more than losing you. She doesn't fear losing you. She fears losing her grip on you. It's not you she misses, it's the power she had over you. She's not crying over what ended. She's calculating whether you're still emotionally invested, whether you're still on the hook, whether she still matters on your mind, in your heart. Because if she truly feared losing you, she wouldn't have walked away. This was never about loss. It was about control. Understand this, a woman doesn't always leave because she's unhappy. She leaves when she no longer feels in charge. She leaves when she senses she's no longer the one steering the emotional ship. And when that happens, she tests you over and over again. Silent tests, emotional tests, attention tests. She'll push your limits. She'll go cold. She'll withdraw affection. She'll ignore your calls. She'll delay her replies. Not to hurt you, but to see what you'll do. Will you chase? Will you beg? Will you crumble? And if you do, she knows she still has you. That's when she begins the process of detachment, not with words, but with distance, with silence, with disinterest masked as independence. Most men never see it coming. They think breakups happen all at once, one big fight, one moment of truth. But that's not how women exit. A breakup with her happens in phases. Emotionally first, physically later by the time she finally leaves. She's been emotionally gone for weeks, maybe months. She was waiting for a reason, a moment to make it feel justified. And when she got it, she walked cold, clean, calculated. And this is where most men collapse. They assume it's over, that she must have found someone new, that she must be done for good. But here's the truth. Women don't always leave because it's final. Sometimes they leave to observe, to watch what you'll do when she's gone. Not to lose you, but to see if they can still influence you, if you'll fall apart without them, if you'll prove they were the center of your universe. If you start texting, if you start calling, if you start posting cryptic things online, she knows you're still hers. And that's exactly why she never reaches out first, because if she does, she forfeits control. And power is everything. A woman doesn't fear losing a man, she fears losing a man she can no longer manipulate. Think about it. If she truly valued you, she wouldn't risk your absence. She'd reach out, she'd show up, she'd communicate, she'd fight. But if she's quiet, if she's watching from a distance, not saying a word, it's because she still believes you're emotionally available, still waiting, still affected. And as long as she believes that, she has no reason to return. Because in her mind, she still lives rent-free in your head. She will only panic when that illusion collapses. When she sees that you're not reacting, that you're not chasing, that you're not trying to win her back. That's when her world starts spinning. That's when the power shift begins. But she won't break easily. First, she'll test the waters. She'll drop emotional bait. A picture with a new guy, a caption with a double meaning, a song lyric that screams nostalgia. And then she'll wait. She'll watch. She'll hope you take the bait. If you respond, she wins. If you stay silent, everything starts to unravel. She wonders, did I miscalculate? Has he moved on? Why hasn't he reached out? Did he replace me? That's when the tables turn, because her greatest fear was never losing you, it was losing the emotional dominance she had over you. That's why she won't message first. That's why she won't admit regret. Because to do so would mean surrendering the throne she built. So she watches, she waits, she plays her game, hoping you'll show a crack. But the most powerful move you'll ever make is to disappear completely. Withdraw your attention, withdraw your energy, withdraw your emotion. No words, no anger, no reaction, just stillness. And in that silence, she starts to spiral. Because suddenly she doesn't know where she stands. She doesn't know if she still matters. She doesn't know if she ever had you at all. And that's when she breaks. Number 3, the one who cares less wins. Here's the harsh truth. In relationships, it's not always about who loves more. It's about who maintains control. And the one who cares less always wins. Not because they're cold, not because they're heartless, but because they've mastered one truth: emotional detachment is power. A man who doesn't crumble when she pulls away, who doesn't chase when she goes silent, is the man she can't stop thinking about. Because women don't crave safety first, they crave mystery. They crave emotional gravity. They crave the man who is unpredictable, unreachable, and unapologetically himself. She won't tell you this. She may not even realize it. But what holds her attention isn't a love story. It's the unknown. It's not knowing where she stands with you. It's that quiet tension, that invisible line between wanting you and not being sure she has you. The moment she figures you out, the second she knows you're emotionally hooked, that's when she begins to pull back. Not because she stopped liking you, but because the chase is over. And here's the thing. Women don't chase what's already theirs. They chase what they fear they might lose. That uncertainty, That's the addiction. The man who gives too much too soon, who always responds, always validates, always reassures, he's not a mystery. He's a checklist. And once a woman can check all the boxes, she stops opening the book because the story becomes predictable, and predictability kills attraction. Let's be blunt. She will obsess over the man who remains just out of reach, the man who keeps her guessing, the one she can't fully figure out. That's the man who lives rent-free in her head, not because he played games, but because he played his game. A game of control, not chaos. She might lie in bed wondering if you've moved on, if you're thinking about her, if she still has a place in your life. But only if you don't hand her that information on a silver platter. The moment she senses you're still emotionally available, still attached, still hoping, she relaxes. She stops investing because she thinks, I've got him. He's not going anywhere. That's when you lose the power dynamic. Here's where most men fall apart. They confuse love with submission. They believe the more they give, the more she'll stay. But women don't respect men who overextend. They respect men who hold the line. When you double text, over-explain, seek closure, you're not being emotionally open. You're signaling weakness, and weakness is not attractive. Because whether she says it or not, she wants a man who is centered in himself, who doesn't need her to feel whole, who doesn't seek approval like a beggar at her emotional table. That man, he's a challenge. He's a mountain to climb. And women don't forget the climb, even if they reach the top. Now let's talk about something you've seen but never understood. Why do women keep returning to toxic men? Why do they chase the one who treated them the worst? It's not that they like pain. It's that pain was paired with uncertainty. He gave her just enough to stay, then pulled away enough to confuse her. He was present, then distant, engaged, then gone. And in that pattern, she was forced to earn his attention. And what we earn, we value. It's a dangerous game, but one that speaks to a deeper psychology. Attraction is not given, it's earned. Now, I'm not telling you to be toxic. I'm telling you to be stoic, unshakable, unapologetes, unavailable unless earned. When you embody that mindset, she begins to wonder, did I misjudge him? Is he slipping away? Why hasn't he reacted? That doubt is powerful because for the first time she's the one who's unsure. And in that space of doubt, the balance shifts. She starts checking your profile. She starts overthinking your silence. She replays your last words like a riddle she can't solve. And when a woman starts doubting, she starts chasing. This is the reversal. But none of this works if you're faking it. She can smell desperation behind silence. She knows when your detachment is a performance. You must actually care less. You must actually let go. You must actually reclaim your center, not just pretend to for a reaction. The moment you stop waiting, stop hoping, stop watching is the moment she starts doing all of it. Because what she truly fears isn't losing you. It's losing her grip on your emotions, the power to make you react, the ability to pull your strings. When she senses that control is gone, she spirals. She questions everything, and that is when she reaches out. But by then, you're different. You're not chasing. You're not reacting. You've remembered who you are. That's what stoic strength is, not indifference, but discipline. You are the man who walks away with dignity, the man who doesn't explain his silence, the man who doesn't need validation because he lives by a higher standard. And once she sees that, she won't forget it. Number 4, your absence is more powerful than your words. There's a kind of power that doesn't yell, doesn't explain, doesn't justify. It simply withdraws. And in that withdrawal, it leaves a silence that echoes louder than any speech ever could. Your absence is not just a void, it is a message. It is a boundary. It is the one thing she never expected from you. She thought you'd reach out. She thought you'd argue, beg, chase, or at least try to make her understand. But instead, you vanished calmly, completely, and without explanation. And now, she's not confused because you said something wrong. She's confused because you said nothing at all. Most men crumble in these moments. They believe that if they can just explain themselves clearly enough, she'll come back. They send texts, long ones, apologizing, reminding her of memories, trying to squeeze logic into an emotional void. But here's what they don't understand. A woman doesn't feel regret because of logic. She feels regret when her emotions turn against her, and nothing flips that emotional script faster than silence. When you stop explaining, when you stop trying to fix, When you let go of the need to be understood, she starts to feel it. Not immediately. At first she might feel relieved, free, even powerful. But give it time. Give her silence. Give her distance. Because silence is not emptiness, it's a mirror. And in that mirror, she sees the version of herself she doesn't want to face. The one who let go too easily. The one who lost access to something solid, something she didn't know how to handle until it was gone. Women are conditioned to expect pursuit. Even when they walk away, they assume they're still being chased emotionally. They believe they have time. They believe they still have the upper hand. But when she reaches for her phone and your name isn't there, when she posts something to bait you and you don't bite, when she scrolls through old messages, hoping for a new one and finds nothing, that's when the silence begins to roar. That's when she starts to spiral inward. Not because you said anything wrong, but because you refuse to say anything at all. Understand this. Words are easy. She's heard them all before from you, from others. They're predictable. They're forgettable. But your absence, that's different. It's the one thing she can't decode. It's the one reaction she never prepared for, because it removes her power and forces her to confront something terrifying. The possibility that she lost a man who wasn't coming back. Now she's the one checking your page. Now she's the one scanning your stories. Now she's the one wondering if you've moved on, if you're with someone else, if you ever truly cared at all. That uncertainty is brutal because it replays in her head like a song she can't turn off, and she starts to rewind everything. The way you looked at her, the quiet strength in your presence, the way you never needed to raise your voice to be felt. She remembers all of it, but she has no way to access you anymore, and that's what haunts her. Because even if she pretends to be fine, even if she posts pictures smiling, even if she talks like she's moved on, she's still checking, still watching, still waiting for you to break the silence, waiting for the proof that she still matters. But when that silence stretches, when days turn into weeks and still nothing, panic sets in. Not rage, not sadness, panic. The panic of realizing that maybe she was wrong. Maybe she misjudged you. Maybe she thought you'd always be available. And now, you're not. And here's the part most men miss. If you break the silence too early, if you give in, send a message, seek closure, you reset the entire dynamic. You confirm her assumption that you were never strong enough to walk away. But when you stay silent, when you hold the line, when you walk like a man who has nothing to prove, that's when she feels your value. Not just thinks about it, feels it. And that's the key. Women don't fall for logic. They fall for feeling. And there's no feeling more devastating than realizing she pushed away a man who never came back. So, let her wait. Let her watch. Let her wonder. Because your silence is not a weakness, it's your weapon. It's your self-respect. It's your truth. And in the end, she won't remember what you said. She'll remember what you didn't say and how it made her feel. Number 5. She thought you'd wait forever. Let's not overcomplicate it. If a woman genuinely wanted you in her life, she would be present fully, completely, without hesitation, without excuses, and certainly without vague signals designed to confuse you. Women are not subtle when they truly want a man. They don't hide behind silence or ambiguity. They reach out. They show up. They make sure you know. If she's sitting in the background watching your stories, liking your posts, maybe even stalking your profile, but never actually reaching out, that's your answer. She's not confused. She's just not choosing you. She may be thinking about you. She might miss you. But she doesn't value you enough to act on those thoughts, and that's the part that stings. Not that she forgot you, but that she remembers you and still does nothing. That's what separates the men who spiral from the ones who rise. The average man wastes weeks, months, even years trying to interpret what her silence might mean. Maybe she's scared. Maybe she's waiting for me to go first. Maybe she's trying to protect herself. No, she's just not willing to fight for you, and that is everything you need to know. A man with self-respect doesn't chase the maybes. He doesn't beg for closure or wait for signs. He knows that true interest doesn't hide. A woman who wants you will not care about pride. She will call. She will text. She will break the silence, even if it hurts her ego. Because when a woman truly values a man, she doesn't gamble with losing him. She doesn't play it cool. She doesn't post stories hoping you'll notice. She picks up the phone. She knocks on your door. She takes the risk. So if she's not doing that, stop pretending you're still an option. You're not. You're a placeholder, an afterthought. You're someone she wants access to without responsibility. Someone she likes knowing is still there, even if she never plans on returning. And that truth, it's brutal, but it's also liberating, because now you know where you stand. Men who operate from strength don't analyze mixed signals. They don't watch from the sidelines hoping she'll come back. They see the silence as clarity. They recognize that a woman's inaction speaks louder than any words ever could. If she's not willing to show up for you, don't make excuses for her. Don't tell yourself she's just healing. Don't convince yourself she's waiting for the right moment. The right moment already passed the moment you gave her space and she didn't use it. Silence is a decision, not a delay. And here's what women understand better than men. A little bit of silence keeps you emotionally invested. She knows the longer she doesn't text, the more you overthink, the more you wonder what you did wrong, the more power she has without ever lifting a finger. That's why most men stay trapped, not because she's doing something, but because she's doing nothing. And in that nothingness, you start building a fantasy. You start imagining what might happen if she just said the right words, if she just reached out one more time. But that's not love. That's self-deception. Real connection doesn't live in your imagination. It lives in action. So stop replaying old conversations. Stop checking her profile for hidden messages. Stop interpreting silence as potential. Silence is a full sentence. She's not reaching out because she doesn't want to. If she did, you'd know. You wouldn't be reading between the lines. You'd be reading her message. You wouldn't be wondering. You'd be answering the phone. This is why self-respecting men don't wait. They don't stall their growth for someone who walked away. They don't sit in emotional purgatory hoping she wakes up one day and realizes what she lost. They move forward because they know their worth isn't defined by someone else's indecision. And here's the part she won't tell you. When she finally realizes you're no longer there, when she senses that you've detached, that you've upgraded, that you've outgrown the phase where you needed her attention, that's when the panic starts. But by then, it's too late. Because now you're untouchable. Not bitter, not angry, just gone. And nothing haunts a woman more than the man who truly disappeared. The one who didn't chase, didn't plead, didn't beg for understanding. He just accepted reality, and he became the man she couldn't reach again. So let this be your wake-up call. If she really wanted you, she'd be there, not in likes, not in silent views, not in vague captions, but in your life. And if she's not, then she's not meant to be part of the version of you that's evolving. Let her stay silent, you stay strong. Let her play games, you play for legacy. Let her think she can come back anytime. You become the man who no longer waits. If you feel this truth in your soul, do this now. Like the video to let the algorithm know you're done chasing silence. Comment below. I control my emotions, not her. Subscribe to the channel so YouTube shows this to other men who need this message. You are the prize. Act like it.